For today's practice, grab 2 yoga blocks, set them beside your yoga mat, as well as a yoga bolster. Place that beside your mat as well. Come into a seated pose, crossing the legs, and bring the backs of the hands to the tops of the knees. Close your eyes and lengthen your spine. Feel free to come into Gyan Mudra by bringing the tips of the pointer fingers and the thumbs together, creating a circle. Breathe deeply here as you prepare for your practice. Bring your hands out in front of you and start to walk your hands out as far as you can comfortably, tilting the pelvis forward, reaching the heart towards the front of the mat. Good. Breathe here and relax into the pose. Only go as far as you can without really rounding the back too much. Notice where you feel the stretch. Slowly make your way back up to seated as we prepare for a back bending pose. Bring your left hand behind you, reaching your right arm up, really opening the heart here, resting on the knees. Breathe here as you twist the chest open towards the sky. Relax the face. One more breath. And then slowly come back down to seated, placing your hands on your knees. Now bring your right hand behind, lift your left arm up and overhead, and open the chest, coming into your back bend, twisting the chest up open towards the sky, and breathe here. Notice where you're feeling the stretch. One more breath. And then make your way back down to seated. Bring your hands to your knees and breathe. Next, make your way up to standing at the top of the mat. In Tadasana, standing mountain pose, bring your hands to your heart in prayer. Breathe here as you ground down through all 4 corners of the feet and lengthen the spine by reaching the crown of the head towards the sky. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Now come into Warrior One by bending the right knee and stepping back with your left foot. Flatten the back foot and have the left toes point towards the front left corner of your mat. And bring your hands behind you into a prayer position for reverse prayer. Really lift the chest, and if it feels good, start to arch the back, lifting the chest up more towards the sky. Keep the chin tucked slightly to lengthen the neck, and make sure you're not feeling any pain in the low back. If you are, focus on tucking the tailbone slightly. Breathe here. Now slowly lift your torso up, making our way into pyramid pose. Release your hands from reverse prayer and grab your blocks, placing them on either side of the right foot. Slowly start to straighten your right leg, just until you feel sensation, but not pain. Make sure to keep your spine long, and if you need to, place the blocks on the tallest height. Keep drawing the right hip back as you draw the chest forward and the shoulders back. Keep the back heel planted. Bend the front knee, move the blocks. Place your hands down and come to the hands and knees. Uncurl your toes and bring your hips back towards your heels and your forehead to the ground if possible, coming into child's pose. Good. Breathe here, really expanding the back body as you inhale and softening into the pose as you exhale. Just checking in with yourself and noticing how you're feeling in this moment. Take a couple more deep breaths. Now make your way up to your hands and knees. Reach your left foot towards the back of the room, towards the front left wrist. Extend the right foot back so that the right leg is straight and parallel to the long edge of the mat. Make sure you're not feeling any pain here in this pigeon pose. If you are, draw your left heel closer towards your pelvis. If it's available to you, start to come down towards the mat. Feel free to place your elbows onto the blocks or the floor. Remembering not to compare yourself to where you were yesterday or to where other people might go in this pose. Go to where it feels good for your body. And breathe here. Soften and relax. Take a couple more deep breaths. With the strength of your arms, slowly push yourself back up and swing your right leg around, keeping your left leg drawn in. Left foot touches the inside edge of the right thigh. Reach your arms up and then reach out towards the front foot, coming into head to knee pose. Though your head might not actually come to the knee, focus more on keeping the spine long. If you need to keep a slight bend in the right knee to release too much of a stretch from the right hamstring, feel free to do so. Listen to your body and modify as needed. Breathe here and enjoy the stretch. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Slowly lift your torso up, walking the hands in, and then bend your right knee in and grab the foot, reaching the foot up towards the sky and straightening the leg only to where you can go without feeling pain. Feel free to keep a slight bend here. Breathe here as you reach the chest up in this variation of heron pose. Try to stay right on top of both sitting bones. Gently release the foot, bend the knee, and then prop yourself up into a yogi squat or garland pose. Push the knees away with the elbows with your hands in prayer. Lengthen the spine and breathe. Notice how this pose feels on your inner thighs and your pelvis. Now start to lift your hips up and heel-toe your feet in so that they're parallel to the outside of the mat. Bend into the knees and send the hips back in your chair pose. Reach the arms up towards the sky. Draw the lower belly gently in and up, bending the knees to where it feels good for you. Breathe here. Slowly start to straighten the legs and bring your hands to your heart into mountain pose. Breathe here as you ground down into all four corners of both feet. Relax the face. Now come into Warrior One with your reverse prayer hands. Step back with your right foot, keeping the left knee bent towards 90 degrees. The back right toes point towards the front right corner of the mat. Keep the heel down. Bring your palms to touch behind your back, and then point the fingertips up, coming into your reverse prayer. Bend the front knee towards 90 degrees and start to lift the chest up towards the sky if that feels okay. Lengthen the tailbone down to keep the low back long. Tuck the chin slightly to lengthen the neck and breathe here. To come into pyramid pose, slowly lift your torso up, grab your blocks, and place them to the outside edges of the left foot. Slowly straighten the front leg just to where you can, and just to where you feel sensation but not pain. Draw the left hip back as you draw the chest forward. Keep the back heel planted, and remember, feel free to put the blocks on the highest setting. Breathe here. And then move the blocks off to the side. Bend your front knee and make your way back to tabletop on the hands and knees. Uncurl the toes. Now come into child's pose by bringing your hips back to the heels and your forehead either to a block or the floor. Let the arms relax and focus on your breath here. Good. Again, turning inward and really noticing how you're feeling now in this moment. Breathe into the back body, expanding the ribs as you inhale, and as you exhale, soften. One more breath. Slowly raise yourself back up to your hands and knees. And then extend your right foot towards the back of the mat with the foot raised. Bring the right knee to the outside of the right wrist and the foot towards the left wrist, coming into pigeon. If this is too much for the front knee, please make sure to draw the heel closer to the pelvis. Keep your left leg long and parallel to the long edge of the mat. Feel free to place the elbows onto blocks or all the way down onto the mat. Whatever feels good for you in this moment. Remember that your poses might look different from day to day. Just because something feels good today doesn't mean it'll feel good tomorrow, and that's okay. Make your way back up to seated. Swing your left leg around and keep the right foot on the inner left thigh, coming into head to knee pose. Reach the arms up as you inhale, and as you exhale, reach the chest towards the foot. If you can grab the foot, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. Remember, you don't have to bring the head to the knee. Keep a slight bend in the knee if this is too much in your hamstring. Breathe here, and soften into the pose. Never going to where you feel pain. Take a couple more breaths, in through the nose and out through the nose. Gently push yourself back up to seated. To come into heron pose, bend your left knee in, grab the foot, and then extend the foot up towards the sky. Feel free to keep a bend in the left knee. Reach your chest up towards the foot. If your forehead comes to the shin, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. Remember to stay right on top of the sitting bones. Slowly release the foot back down to the ground. And extend both legs out in front of you. Again, keeping a gentle bend in the knees if needed. Tip the pelvis forward and draw the chest forward towards the toes. Nice job. Breathe here. Soften into the pose, but keep the spine long and your seated forward fold. Deep breaths. Relax here. Notice how you feel. Make your way back up to seated, reach your arms overhead, and then bring your hands to the sides. Turn to face the long edge of the mat and grab your bolster. Extend your legs out into a straddle position, coming into a wide leg forward fold. Lengthen the spine on your inhale. And as you exhale, tip the pelvis forward as you reach your chest forward towards the top of the bolster. Feel free to turn your head to the side. And you can even add a block on top of the bolster if this is too intense for you. Feel free also to keep a slight bend in the knees as needed. Breathe here. Enjoy how you're feeling now at the end of your practice, letting go of any tension that could be left. Take a couple breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then slowly push yourself up to seated. Breathe here. Thank yourself for doing